Started the recording. Okay, in our previous discussions we completed the apping structure explanation. This is the apping structure. A section, step, action will be there in every application engine, and the program flow chart will be there. Coming to the program properties, we have 4 attributes in our application engine. If you open any of your application engine, if you open any of your application engine, you will see your section, step, and within the step, action. Then, what is the properties? What are the properties? For each object you have properties. Application engine has its own properties, section has its own properties, step and action. Every attribute has its own properties in application engine. Coming to the application engine, where is the properties? Here is the link. If you open the application engine, here is the properties, program properties. Here in a general way, you will give your description and comments for your application engine creation or your application engine changes, whatever you've done so far. Coming to the next tab, this showing one option, state records. What is state record? State record is nothing but it will helpful to transfer the data in between the step and action. Let us say here we have different types of actions. Do and do while, do select, people code. Here let's say you're selecting something like select employee ID, name from PS underscore employee table. Or suppose you are giving information like this. Once this SQL code executed, it will retrieve total rows from the database. Then, based upon this selection, you are going to write one people code in the people code action. Then, okay, you perfectly executed the SQL and the values are fetched. You want to use the values within the people code. How do you use it? Just imagine. How do you use it? Within the doSelect, you are selecting the data, and within the people code, you are going to execute. You are going to use the values, whichever you selected. In between the action, you have to pass the values. For this type of transaction, we need a state record. Here you can see it is a work table to pass values from one step action to another. We use it as a working storage for AE program, and each AE program can have one or more state records. There is no limitation, there is no mandatory. And a state record can be a SQL table or a work prompt. 2 types of possibilities. SQL table means it's a database object. Work record, it's not a database object. It's a derived work record. Then, in which are all the scenarios you are using SQL table as a state record, and in which are all the scenarios you are using derived record as a state record. If your application engine is a restartable application engine, then you have to use SQL table as a state record. If your application engine is a non-restartable application engine, you can use derived record as a state record. if you're asking me a question, Venkat, can we use SQL table type as a state record for a non-restartable application? Yes, absolutely. You can use it. There is no restriction. But SQL table as a state record is mandatory for a restartable application. That's very important. A program can have 0 to many state records. But yes, there is no mandatory. If you are designing an application engine, you have to use a state record. There is no state record mandatory. Then, first of all, we are going to create a state record. Here, okay, let us say we selected employee and name. If you want to pass the values of employee and name, then your state record structure must and should hold employee and name fields. Then, is there any process flow available to create a state record? Yes. I'm creating a state record. It's just a record. You can select the record type here, SQL table or derived record. It's your wish. SQL table or derived record. Whenever you have decided you are going to create a state record, the first field within the state record is process underscore instance. This should be the field within your state record, and this should be the key field also. The very first step for your state record, the process underscore instance to be there. Then the remaining fields, yes, whatever the information you want to pass by using the state record, you are using it. Employee and name. That's it. Then, what are all other things? Whenever you are saving your state record, it's very mandatory. It's compulsory. You can give your own naming convention, but at the end, you have to give AET underscore AET. Whenever you specify underscore AET, then only PeopleSoft Database can store, okay, this is the state record. Without giving the naming convention underscore AET, you won't see it as a state record in the app engine properties. You created one state record and you are going to use the state record. You are going to use the record as a state record for your application. Then we just created the record. We have not assigned it to our application engine. Then where can we do it? Just open the app engine properties. Open the app engine, go to the app engine properties, go to the state record. Here you can give your naming convention, get list. Only one record is displayed. Why? Because it is the record which is having the naming convention underscore. If you check the records availability in your database under the naming convention XYZ, under the naming convention XYZ, you will see number of records. Only one record is underscore AET. That is the reason it's showing only underscore AET record here. Okay, add here. Okay, I added my state record. Then, is it enough? No, it's not happening. We have to convey a message to the system. Please pick up the values from here and pass the values by using this data. Okay, here we are selecting the data. Then, how do you pass the data? We have a special condition, percentage select. Then you have to give your field names, employee name. Then what it will do? What the percentage select will do? Percentage select will capture the data which you are selecting from the select state, and it will hold the data in state record. Then if you are ready to use, if you are going to use the particular data in your technical code, then use this field like this, employee, an employee name. That means you can't use a direct field reference in the technical code of application. Then, one more important concept about the state report. A program can have one or more state reports. There is a chance. What type of scenario is there? Okay, in step 1, do select, I am selecting employee name, and I am passing those values by using this step. Then, in the step 2 also, I am doing the same methodology. Do select. Here, I am selecting job code department ID from PS_job. Then these two values, I can pass these two values by using this table. Why? Because this structure is not holding these two fields. Then, in this context, what you will do? You will create one more state record by using a processed instance as a key, and you will add job code and department ID as fields. Then, within the attribute properties of state record, here you will give your second state record name. Then, okay, let us say AGBA. This is your second state record. But only one thing should be default, either this one or this one. What is the difference between a default state record and a non-default state record? Let us say this is our second state record. It is a non-default state record. Then, whenever you are trying to pass the value by non-default state record, then a difference will be like this. Percentage select. You have to give your state record name AD_AG dot job code like this. For a default state record name is not required. But for a non-default state record name is mandatory to refer to values within the select statements. Every concept related to a default or non-default state record is very important. Why? Because maybe in interviews they will ask, what is the difference between a default state record and a non-default state record? How do you report that? Very important concept. This is the concept of state record. Very frequently, we are going to use this in our practice. This is the concept of state record in application engine program properties. The next 10 tables. Here within App Engine, you will see one more tab that is 10 tables. Very tricky concept. If anybody is asking in the interviews, did you work on the temporary tables in App Engine? We can simply say, no, I haven't touched the temp tables in my practice. But I will explain the thing to you. What is the concept of temporary tables? Let's say in general, you are loading 1 lakh rows of data by using application. It is taking more than 10 hours of time to load the data. It's just a demo. You are not creating, you are not validating, just you are taking the data from the file and you are just configuring it. Then it is taking too much of time to load the data. Then you decided, okay, I'm going to use the temporary tables. Here, the temporary tables will be available. You can create your own temporary tables. But whatever the temporary table you are creating, the temporary table structure must and should be a replica of your record structure which you are going to load. Then there is no mandatory naming convention for this. Here you can see 3 to 4 naming conventions. WRA, TAO, TMP, like this. There is no naming convention. And this temporary table must and should be a table type available in the record level, that is here, the temporary table. This is the record type. And okay, you decided and you added this as a temporary table. What is this instance count? This instance count will be a major. Okay, you decided you are going to use this as a temporary table for your process. Here I am giving my instance count is 9. Without using this temporary table concept, also we are loading the data into our records. That means one database instance is running without having a template. But what you are doing here now, you are adding a template here. You are adding the instance count is 9. That means the original instance will be available and you are adding 9 more instances. That means totally 10 instances. Then whatever the data you are loading, the data will be split into these 10 instances in equal parts. And all 10 instances will run in parallel. That means the time consumption will be less. Then what will be the tricky part here? If one instance got failed among 10 instances, one instance got failed, it's very tricky to identify what is the interval of data available in the instance while it got failed. That is the reason we are not entertaining temp tables in the regular. But you will see the temporary tables, scenarios in the delivered applications in middle, but in our, not in our regular practices. How many instances are available? Totally 99. In general, the temporary table naming convention will be underscore T. Last and final tab available in the program properties advanced tab. Every application engine itself is a restart. You have to select disable restart. To disable the app engine is a restart. Already I told you in our previous discussion. App engine, application engine, 90%, 99% if you are developing application engine in your real time, 99% it will be a non-restartable application. Very occasionally we are going to create a restartable application. That is the reason better to check this checkbox in your application. Then coming to the next checkbox, application engine library. So what it will be? In general, here, view. Try to rename the section name, there is no possibility. But here you can rename your section. Here you can rename your section. But you can't rename your section name. But you decided your app engine is an application library. Then it will allow us to change to rename the section name. Why? Because from now onwards, we can't say it's an app engine. We can say it's application library. Why? Because it is not holding the main section. Then, where you can use this application? Just you will create one functionality by building your structure. Wherever you are ready to use that application library, there you can call by using an action call section. Already we discussed about the call section in our previous discussion. And the last, batch. Batch. If I selected this checkbox, what will happen? Important. Batch only. Let us say you created an application engine. You are creating a separate navigation to run the application engine, and you are giving one run option for your application. And you are going to schedule your application engine on a frequency basis, like bi-weekly, weekly, bi-monthly, semi-monthly level. You are going to schedule the application engine. All these types of scheduled programs, you are creating separate navigation to run your application engine. All these are batch programs. That means you are going to schedule your programs. Then, what will be the other scenario to run the application? In an online page also, you can run your application. Let us say, you are giving your employee details in a page. At the end of the page, you are having a submit button to submit the details. Then while you are submitting the details of the employee, you want to update the employee details in some other reports by using the application. In the online page, that means that within the submit button you are calling your application by using a special function called app engine. There is this function. There is a function available in the PeopleSoft called app engine. Then we can call these type of calling is online run. That's an online. If I'm selecting this app engine is a batch only, then this particular application engine is not available for no one goes to run it online. Then it will be available only in batch run. That's it. Message set number and message number already we know this one. Program type, 5 types of programs are available. Standard, upgrade only, import only, demo only, transform only. 5 program types. In the developer perspective, 100% we will go with the standard program. Upgrade, demo, import, and transform. 100% all other program types will be used by or DBA persons. This is all these are the properties of your application engine. Straightforward template tables and advanced. Coming to the next area, section properties. One more PPT we are going to use. This is about this. Section properties. Coming to the section, every section has common properties like description, market, platform. First, description. Nothing but you are going to give your description for what purpose you are creating the section. Market as global, 100% it will be global. If you are not driving your app engine on a specific currency, that is the reason 100% here will be the global, no changing. Platform default. Why? Because today you are developing your app on Oracle platform. The platform is database. Then by tomorrow your client change your database from Oracle to DB2. Exactly, you are adding them. But if you have to choose the platform as different, and after today, if you want to give any future application, from today onwards you are not in a position to run your app. From future, then you can decide your app today. Based on the status also you can check and uncheck your section. Okay, if you want to call your section, so if you want to activate your section, then effective status mode will be inactive. No, I don't want to run this section from now onwards, then make it as a that's it. And prepare only, section type, prepare only and critical updates. As a developer, we are creating some application engines. Those application engines we are going to create in the section type as prepare only. Don't change this one to critical updates. Critical updates concept will go under inside of PPs. Don't change it. That means, what are all the properties we are able to see here? Default properties. Maximum 100% will go with these default properties. Don't change these properties. Very important property, auto connect. Whatever discussions we have so far, we discussed. If you are running your application, it will start from the main first section and it will complete the last section, last step. Until and unless the program got completed, it won't connect. But here you decided after step, auto commit after step. That means after each step, your program will be pointed to database. That means once the step 1 got completed, that means the step 1 logic is complete. It will issue the commit statement to the database. Step 2 got completed, it will issue the commit statement to the database. Step 3 got completed, it will issue the commit statement to the database. Very important. That means the commit level available in the section, that means the option is passed. The action, public action, access. If you are having the public access, we can call this section from some other application programs. If you are not having the public access, you can't call this section 1 from outside of this application. That is the concept of public access. These are all the properties available in action level. So section level. Coming to the next property is step. Step is also very common. Step description. Here you will see one more commit. That means the section level commit is available. Now we are coming to the step level commit. Here you will see 3 options. Default, later, after step. What is the concept of default? If you are choosing it's a default, then it will follow the section level. Even the section level is not defined, it will follow the program level. That is the concept of it. If I am selecting later, what is the purpose of later? Let us think. In the section level, you decided after step. Then you are not going to commit the step 1. I'm not going to commit the step 1. I want to commit the step 1 at the time of step 2. I will choose my letter. What letter will do? It will hold the commit and it will wait until the next successful commit happens. The next successful commit happening at step 2. Then it will commit simultaneously step 1 and step 2. That is the concept of waiting after step. If you are not interested to commit each and every step, you want to commit only step 1. All the remaining steps you are going to commit at the end of the program. Then choose after step here, remove the after step here. That's it. That means after step condition is applicable from now onwards only for this step 1, not for all the steps. Coming to the next option, frequency. You will see frequency is available in step 1, frequency is available in step 2, frequency is not available in step 3. It's readable in step 2. Why? Because step 1 is holding some loop actions. Do while is a loop action, do select is a loop action, do until is a loop action. Then, because of that reason, step 1 is holding frequency.